Well, greetings for color fans, and welcome back here to Metarog's channel and another video of Obscura here, in which I'm going to talk today about Yang, a character that was published by Charlton starting in 1973. And this is a character that always interested me because I'm a big fan of the martial arts genre in comics, and of course that's taken from a lot of popular culture in the late 60s and early 70s. And of course I've then tried to collect all the series that involve martial arts characters. I have complete sets, for example, of Master of Chang Chi and Iron Fist, and I'm working on Karate Kid. I already did a set of Judo Master. And so I just thought I'd talk about the series, now that I have completed it, and the character and my impressions, etc., and show you the complete set here. So as I was saying, this series is called Yang. As you can see, the yin-yang symbol back here behind him, that is indeed Yang. I believe his real name was Chang Hui, or Chung Hui. I forgot which one it is. He's really called Yang almost, except for the red at the beginning. And he was the son of a well-to-do politician, I believe in Hong Kong, somewhere in China. That was, forthright. He wanted to protect the traditions and the honor of his people. And this was set in the late 1800s, 19th century. So again, there's that sort of parallel with the Kung Fu series on TV with Carradine. His name was Kane in the series, and he, like, similar to this, he sort of found himself in situations where he had to use his martial arts skills, etc., etc. But Yang, as I was saying, his father was a well-to-do and honorable man in China, and unfortunately he ran afoul of a lot of the criminal element, which were trying to take advantage of at that point the Western relationships. So there was this warlord who was exporting opium and also taking Chinese slaves over so that they can work on the railroads and etc. on the west coast of the United States. That warlord assassinated Yang's father. Now, Yang grew up in a monastery. He was a philosopher, very much well-educated in all facets of humanity, history. You'll see throughout the series that he's very highly intelligent, and lots of times he actually defeats his enemies by outthinking them, okay? Not just beating them up, okay? Besides his scholarly pursuits, he was also trained in the martial arts, specifically in Kung Fu. And it's said various times in there that he was probably the best at that time at that martial art, right? So when he found he was nearby when his father was assassinated, when he found out that who it was, that warlord whose name escapes me, he went out to try to thwart his machinations, found himself on a clipper ship that was full of Chinese slaves. He tried to rescue them, but he ran into Ying Li, which is, again, the black part is the yin, the white is the yang. Yang stands for the white goodness, the black evil. It's a little more complicated than that, but that's as simplistic as it is. And that Ying Li was a beautiful, gorgeous lady that he was, infatuated with, and because of that, he let down his guard, and she used a poisoned ring to render him unconscious. He was chained, and taken to the west coast of the United States, where he was going to be put into slavery, working on the railroads, et cetera, et cetera. However, because of his adeptness at martial arts and his intelligence and his now incredible motivation to thwart the warlord, he escaped. Eventually, he made it a point to use anything he could to help his fellow countrymen be free over there, and to eradicate the warlord's businesses. In fact, he burned up a bunch of opium on the ship and on a warehouse he had over there, and because of that, he was there was a bounty put on his head by the warlord, and an endless array of assassins came after him trying to collect that bounty, both Chinese and American. So that went on for a while, and he just kept running into Ying Li, who again is this character here. And although, she was evil, and she, went along with her father's, dastardly businesses and practices, she couldn't quite find it in her heart to kill Yang. She had just a little bit of that goodness, which you see the white dot and the red and the black dot in the yin yang signal. They say that over and over in the series. Nobody is purely evil. There's just a little bit of good somewhere, and nobody is purely good. There's just a little bit of something there that is wrong as well. So many times, Yang was captured. He was trapped because of Ying Li. She kept telling him that that she loved him, etc., etc., but would invariably end with somebody bopping in the back of the head or poisoning him or something, and being captured. And then he would, at the point of when she was supposed to kill him, he would somehow escape. Like here, many times Yang saved her life as well, because the situations were, that he pulled. This lantern came off of the table and put the house ablaze, and he rescued her, etc. But after that, he ran into various characters all throughout the Northwest there, and including these guys here, thinly veiled like Ku Klux Klanmen. And again, he ran into a lot of prejudice, a lot of slurs, but because his father told him that he should always be Yang and combat evil. Whenever he saw evil, he felt compelled to intervene. So he was rescued many minorities, including ladies. At one point, he rescued this minister and his family, and it just went on and on. So he was always in constant danger. Here he was set up by Ying Li in this valley where this like Yeti monster was there supposedly to finish him off. But again, ultimately she helped him get out of that trap, only to put him into another one here with some Komodo dragons. By the way, this outfit that he got here, at first he got there, he had like just pants. Somehow it just appeared. We don't know where that came from. Apparently he did have some money from, obviously he's very skilled and so forth. So he apparently got some some side jobs, things like that. So he was able to clothe himself, and he did have some money. And here's another villainess who controlled this wolf pack. And again, you'll see a lot of these stories have to do with greed, avarice, trying to, exert power over others. Here he rescued a whole bunch of would-be brides that were supposed to be going to wealthy businessmen, and ended up that they were just being sold into essentially sexual slavery, I believe. And on. He had many villains, including this Captain Keegan, who he burned up his ship. So again, that was another person that put out a bounty on his head, and just went on and on. The series ended kind of nondescriptly. I mean, there was one point where he and Ying Li were, professed their love, but they knew they couldn't be together. and he saved her, and various issues before the end of the series. And it seemed like there should be some resolution to that relationship, but there never was, unfortunately. And here he's, I believe in this one here, again, the yin yang symbol, he ran afoul of some gentlemen, or not gentlemen, some guys that were trying to take advantage of a gold claim held by Native Americans. He intervened and make sure that they did not do that. And that is pretty much the end of it. That was the weird thing is that that's number 13 over here. No, that's 11, 12. Where's 13? Over here's 13. Hold on. There's 13. There you go. There's the ones with the clansmen and so forth. But so that was the end of the series, the regular series, and then they just started with the reprints, and they started the reprints with 15. There was no issue 14. I was looking for that series, for that issue for a long time. Again, I've been after this series for years and years and years, until finally Bub got me number 5, and that way I completed the series. So as you can see, that is a reprint of number 1. They just mirrored it, and that's number 2. Again, this is 9 years after that final issue started these reprints, and that is the final issue of Yang. And that's it. The stories were written by Joe Gill and the art by Warren Sattler. Neither are particularly memorable or great or anything like that. I found the stories fairly simplistic, moralistic, kind of karma, comeuppance, things like that. But I did like the concept of the series. I think that, that relationship he had with Ying Li, how he knew that she was evil, but he still was, so attracted and compelled, and thought that he could somehow transform her into a force of good. And she thought she could move him into her organization and use him to further her businesses. Once her father was killed by Yang, and then she took over the business of opium distribution and white slavery and all that stuff. So again, that's the way it ended. Now there was another series called House of Yang, which is about his cousin, and this took place over in China. I'm not going to talk about that right now because this was drawn by San-Ho Kim, and I'm going to do a whole series on that artist, and this series takes center stage on that. All right, so that's it, everybody. I hope you enjoyed seeing this whole complete set of Yang. It's taken me several years to compile this. Somewhat strangely, it's one of those series that I have not compiled online. I've gotten most of them here in brick and mortar, in the wild, and I also had a few sent to me by my friend Surf Blue, and of course, as I said, Bub also sent me that number 5, which is the last one. All right, I'm out of here, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in a comment what you think. Everybody, be kind to each other, be blessed, and be back.